Hello, everyone. Welcome to the library. I've changed my setup some, so it's a little different. Hope everyone is having fun on this Monday. Let's see. We got some new followers. We got some viewers. All right. Well, everybody knows that we've got Big Kitty here in the library, Nunzio. He's a ginormous cat. But we just got a new friend to the library. Everybody, meet Minerva. She's only a few months old. She's super tiny. Well, Nunzio's 21 pounds, so when you get a 1 pound critter here, she's only a few months old. She came our way from Texas, actually. And she is young and has to go explore and see everything. And so it's funny, she was a foster kitten. Her and her siblings were born in the wild. And then her and her brother were the last two out of the group. And then somebody up here was adopting her brother. And through the process, we ended up with her because everything got paid for her, so all her shots, she's chipped. She's not fixed. She's not old enough for that. But it has been hilarious because she has been following Nunzio around everywhere. So you have a 21-pound grumpy cat that doesn't like people anyways. And he now has a few-month-old kitten following him around. Just like, whoo. It's like, notice me, senpai. It's pretty hilarious. He was very not happy. He's progressed way faster than we thought he would with accepting her and doing very well. How am I doing? You know what? It's Monday. This morning was a little rough. My hip was killing me, but it's been an interesting day. And today our dice went live. So I'm doing a new setup. And move this over here for now. I gotta see my camera. So our dice went live. So The links I'll post the links here in a little bit down in the chats. In fact, you know what? So if you want to go to the Level Up website and check these out in person, you can do that. But these are gorgeous dice. They're milled aluminum, so our logo here on top. You open up the magnetized puck, boop, and then you can see the 4 dice inside. They're 6-sided. They're weighted so beautifully, and then have fun. Look at that, great dice for Star Wars. Then you have fun putting them back together as a little puzzle piece. I can't do more than 4 pieces, otherwise my ADD kicks in. But those are available on their website. We'll go over their website here in a little bit, but awesome because they every one of these that gets sold, we get a portion of everything back to us. So let's go over some new books that we got in the library. New layout, so trying to get used to it. Tomorrow I'll have my monitor that sits like right here so I can actually see my layout, and then all the news will be right there. And okay, let's go with some of these books. Let's go with Hi-Ya! How's everybody like the top-down look instead of me just holding things up to the camera? Is this better? Yeah, fancy. Got a nice little camera here, got a camera here, then, you know, I figure I have a lot of cameras due to other things I do. Yes, top down is 1,000% better. So this is cartoon. I've never heard of this before. I saw it at Half Price Books and said, okay, we gotta check this out. It's from Goodman Games. So Goodman Games is, we should all know, is Dungeon Crawl Classics, but they've been around since 1999, if I recall correctly, and they've made all kinds of fun stuff. I mean, they're just a group of game designers that love games. So I'm gonna have to bust this out and actually play it on stream. Yeah, I'm working out where I stand now. So if I stand on my mats for where I stand in work, the camera's lined up perfectly. If I stand in front of where the books are, I'm not so much. So, okay, we got Hi-Ya. Then let's see, a module for Space 1889. I loved this system from GDW, and not GW, GDW. So, Tales from the Ether, and then we also got Step Lords of Mars, and Caravan of Mars, and Cloud Captains of Mars. So I've only played Space 1889 out of the core book. So I'm actually stoked to go through these because there's probably going to be some really cool stuff in here. And I would love for people, because there is a Kickstarter that just ended for an update to Space 1889. I'd love to sit down with them and see what the new version is going to be like. Not John Carter. So John Carter was just one person. This is like if the British Empire got sucked up to Mars instead of John Carter. So it's like John Carters of Mars. A whole lot of them. But yeah, I always enjoyed this system, and I've never gone through any of these. I'm super excited. Let's see. Galranthria, Introduction to the Hero Wars by Greg Stafford and Peter Metcalf. This is an awesome background book for the world of RuneQuest. And you look at it, you're like, oh, it's just a novel. No. Yes, sadly, Greg Stafford passed way too early. He had a lot more games left in him. But yeah, this is an awesome background book. So if you're at all interested in the Galranthia or RuneQuest worlds, this is a great book. It works with any edition of RuneQuest because it fleshes out that world. And the Introduction to the Hero Wars. Let's see. Gotta Have Character. A source book for Hero System 5th edition. El Santo. This is just NPCs for the Hero System. Which, Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia. Now, this is way ahead of its time because, 2 TV series were made on the Borgias. This gives you a ton of historical and semi-historical characters to use in your Hero System games through different periods of time. The Last Unicorn, or is it Last Unicorn or is it just Unicorn? Yeah, Last Unicorn Games, their version of Star Trek, the RPG. This came out in right at the end of the 90s, if I recall. Yeah, 1999. So this was, kind of a, can we bring RPGs back? Because 97 to 99 was just such a bad period for RPGs. But we did get some really cool stuff like this. A lot of people forget that we had some really good Star Trek stuff out. I love what Modiphius is putting out now, but it's a different thing than what this was. And this was very much a product of its time. You look through it, it screams the 90s in its design and layout, but that can be a great thing. There's still a good game here inside. We've got a bunch of expansion books for it too. Seventh Seas GM guide or GM screen. So just a standard little GM screen with some very nice seventh pirate or sailing ship artwork. One I had not seen before. True D20, the GM screen. Oh yes, that Star Trek is very next gen and Deep Space Nine. I don't know if they got. I think they did get a Voyager book for it right before it went out. But yeah, there's a ton of books for it. We've got a bunch of books for it. So this is an unopened True 20 GM screen. And this is from Green Ronin Games, and I like their True 20 system. It's has a lot of 3.5 with a lot of the things pulled out of it that people complain about D&D 3.5. The World of Nevermore. Sorry, can't resist. Quote the Raven, Nevermore. World of Nevermore. This is also a True 20. So this was early 2000s. Green Ronin was putting out a ton of stuff in that time frame. That was when they started making their True 20 system, and I don't blame them because it was a golden period for Yeah, well, the Green Runner's 3.5 and the True 20 are different because the core of 3.5 is kind of in True 20, but you just need a D20. It is definitely very slimmed down rules wise, but it also has other complexities within the rules as well. Green Ronin did put out a ton of good stuff, and they're still putting out good stuff. Another GM screen. So we've got one of these already, but I couldn't pass up having a second Hackmaster GM screen. So if you've not seen a GM screen before, you're not going to see all of this at once here on the on the stream, because this thing is. If you don't know anything about Hackmaster, Hackmaster is D&D 2nd edition, cranked not to 11, not to 12, but to about 14 and a half. So it was Hackmaster 4th edition. It was their first time being in print, based on AD&D 2nd edition, and it was. There's a whole fun backstory. I'll go over it someday, but not today. So this is the Game Master Shield. Yes, you can see it is. There's artwork on the inside. There are tables upon tables. So here's your charisma check modifiers, armor and shield maintenance, recovery of spells, the pizza matrix to tell you, write the names left or right, toppings from 0 dislike to 5 prefer, and total ratings across. So you fill in your pizza chart. And then, see, you've got saving throws for clerics, magic users, fighters, and thieves. And this folds out and has more stuff on the back page. And this page has a fold out and more stuff on the back page. And then this one folds out. And I'll be honest, I've used this alignment graph. So everybody's like, we got to get rid of alignment. Oh, it's totally useless. If you play with alignment and you learn to use it with the characters, especially like clerics, it could be a whole lot of fun. So I would, if I had a cleric starting out, they started out here at 3/3 lawful good, and then as they did actions through gameplay, I would take notes and note where they were at. So if they got too far over, I'd be like, hey, if you do that, you're going to become lawful neutral, and you'll no longer be able to cast your spells. Whereas if I had a chaotic good thief, then I would keep track of what they're doing and kind of see what direction they go with their actions, and then would you become more neutral? Would you become neutral good? How would you progress? And then it really tells how the towns and villages work with you. So it can be a lot of fun. It's a little extra work, but it can really be entertaining in some situations. More charts, and then here's this is one chart. This is your combined critical hits, location, and severity. So hit on the top of the foot, the heel, the toes, all the way. Armpit, upper arm outer, upper arm inner, and then how bad are you hit? There's so many charts. Like you literally don't need a GM guide if you have this as the GM. It is massively unwieldy on the table, but it is so much fun to have and so much fun to pull out. So and I've actually done that. So one of the comments is should have everyone start in the middle of the wheel. Everyone start at neutral and see how they act and become. So I did that many years ago when we started out with 0 level characters. Gygax had said he wanted to do that. So it was something we had tried and thought was really cool, and we had a lot of fun with. And that was something we did start. Everyone was true neutral. And then as we played, so that wheel wasn't even out yet. And then as we played, I was the GM, and I kept track of everybody's actions, and that told us where they went over time. And then with that, we got a couple new books for Hackmaster. So Little Keep on the Borderlands, and super excited to get this one. This one we didn't have. And then Hackopedia of Beasts, which I believe we had. It is just charts and charts of beasts. But I'm trying to get another set of the core Hackmaster books to send to other events. Let's see. Game Master's Book of Random Encounters. Random. The Mug of Retention. The Scarf of Resolve. An Actor's Life. I don't know how to use it, but we just received it. 500 customizable maps, tables, and story hooks to create 5th edition RPG adventures on demand. And I love having stuff like this in the library. It is great for young GMs to have these tools so that they can learn to become better. And if you're an older GM that's been GMing for a while, sometimes you're like, oh, I've done it all before. You pull out something like this, and it allows you to try new and fun different things that is kind of out of your wheelhouse. And it's not AI. Let's see. Stuff for some of my favorite games. The Sleeping Kin Judge Dredd supplement for the old D20 Judge Dredd. And Rookie's Guide to Crazy Crazes. Free Cooper supplement. So, huge fan of Judge Dredd and the 2000 AD. Oh, Fatty's characters. If you don't understand what you're seeing here, this is you really have to read the Judge Dredd stuff to understand that. Sometimes you need a couple charts to and a good book when you're getting GM burnout. It is 100% correct. GM burnout is very real. Thank you. I'm liking the overhead. I've done the overhead a couple times before, but not for the library streaming. I did it for some video production. I did it for some old, hey, look at the book donations we got. And I was like, well, I've done it before. Why not now? So I have a camera mounted to my ceiling. Let's see, source book for Fantasy Hero. So if you like the hero system, here's some add-ons to play more fantasy stuff. The Voldarian Age. It's very Conan-esque. I did look through it. And I believe this is also for hero system, Fantasy Hero, 5th edition. The Atlantean Age. So if you want to play, Atlantis, Greek, and mix that in with your Conan-esque stuff. Let's see. Moon Design Publications. Guide to Gloranthia, Volume 2. So we need to get the guide, Volume 1. But this is just, if you want to learn about the world that Greg Stafford and many of the other people at was it Chaosium? Yeah, we're at Chaosium making the RuneQuest stuff. This is stuff like this is Black Fang Brotherhood. So all kinds of great stuff. This is a nice hefty book, and it's large too. So if you look, that's a standard RPG book. So this doesn't go on a shelf very well. Okay, so for that Star Trek book we had earlier, here is GM Screen. And there's your Sovereign class Enterprise E. Everything inside looks like LCARs. Yes, I'm that big of a nerd. I know what the computer layout system is called. May or may not have it for my phone. Here's the GM's information. It's got the captain's log. And these character sheets, I need to find copies of these. These are horrible. This is so, like, the Elcar stuff looks so cool when it's just blurring past as something added on screen. It is so hard to read. Oh, this is not a good character sheet, but man, do I want copies of these. They're so good and so bad. Then we got in the mail, so some stuff from UK. This is the quick start guide for Slay Industries second edition. Haven't popped it open yet. Okay. And when I say from the UK, Slay Industries was actually created by a team in Scotland. And we had on the stream one of the designers of Slay Industries second edition. We had Chris Shepperson on. So here's our quick start guide. And then our book. Love that cover. Is that not just creepy and amazing and ominous? Ominous all at once. Let's see. Then we've got Cannibal Sector. So this is this supplement is bigger than the. This is the core book. This is the supplement. That is a huge. When your supplement is bigger than your core rulebook, but it is. It is in depth. Slay Industries is a lot of fun. Hunter's Sheets issue 2. These are all NPCs that you can throw into your game. So list of baddies that you're good to go. Yeah, this cover art. The cover art on all of these is just stunning. Thank you, Scotland, for some great stuff. And then here is the GM's pack. Where did my box cutter go? Of course, it wasn't enough. There we go. This is the GM add-on stuff, so cool information for GMs. Then your GM screen. Oh, it's nice and thick. I like thick GM screens because they don't fall over and they tend to last. And then let's look. Oh, thought the cover art was good. Look at this. Doom Trooper meets Warhammer 40K. So that's all the. Oh, not all the Slay Industries stuff. So Slay Industries uses a D10. With it, we got. This is like mouse pad material, but it is actually a dice tray. It was weird to do when you're looking at your hands off to the side. Then we got a Piggly Wiggly dice. So one die looks different for a reason, and you will have to play Slay Industries to find out. Or our next game, Piggly Wiggly in spicy ketchup. Get the Slay Industries stuff out of the way. Then we'll go to. This was the Terminator book from the Kickstarter that happened a while ago. Oh, we got a certificate of authentic. This is the Terminator Faux Leather Limited Edition, number 93 of 300. Well, rarely do we get to see this. This is awesome. Well, geez. The last collector's edition I had that was numbered, let's see. I know Palladium does it. It's printed on the inside front. So I got to figure out where to put this now. And then I know, let's see. Fantasy Flight did it with their Warhammer stuff. Man, now I didn't even see this when I that's super cool. Well, we're number 93. Oh, I will play with that later. So this uses so the S5S system created by Chris Shepperson. So you can play in the Terminator world using the Slay Industry rules. That's the collector's edition book with a nice shiny creepy Terminator on the cover. Yeah, we didn't so Punishment 90 said he wanted to go in on this but didn't have the scratch at the time. Neither did we. I spent a whole lot of extra money this last couple years on backing some cool Kickstarters. So this is the normal book. I mean, and I'll be honest, this cover is badass too. What's with these guys, these games that are putting out great covers, and it's like you're torn. Sometimes the standard cover is almost better looking than the collector's edition, but I think for a limited run, this is a way cooler cover. But this is a badass cover. This is really awesome. There we go. And this all uses 10-sided dice. It came with some. So, yeah, it was Cyborg, both covers. We got the collector's edition. I need to get the regular cover because that regular cover is so stunning. Let's see. There's the director's pack. Everything came plastic wrapped. I wasn't expecting that numbered plaque. See, so here's your additional little game for the GM to run. And oh wow, look at that! There's Sarah Connor in her iguana. I guess this is John Connor. Oh man, that's some awesome art. Okay. And then the quick start guide. It just comes in a ripped open thing. I'm happy everyone's enjoying this overhead. Once I get my standing position and camera figured out for it, this will be a lot easier. Because I might actually just put a second camera like right over this so that I'm looking straight ahead. So many cameras. There's John Connor. This is your quick start guide. Then our campaign book. So you can play, and I guess every time you play this, you'll have to say, you know, at the end of the game, I'll be back. Sorry, I couldn't resist. What's blue and smells like red paint? Blue paint. Here's your campaign book. Well put together like the other books. The art is actually really nice. It gives a feeling of that. There's enough art in here that gives the feeling of a bombed out world. Okay, and then there's that. um, bombed out world, and then woman in seaweed, and then Terminator carrying a baby. Oh, that's creepy. One last thing that came with this was Terminator dice. These are metal. Metal. There's a skull for the 10 or 0. They're hefty. So they're black and red. Seaweed bikini was not expected. I will concur with that one. Seaweed bikini, it's kind of like the Spanish Inquisition. That'd be awesome if those were liquid metal dice. Yes. Oh man. That's the T1000 set. That was way out of our price range. I'm intrigued how the Terminator game is going to be, because the Terminator movies, yes, they were sci-fi, but they were horror as well. So unless you want to play just kind of in a strictly post-apocalyptic sci-fi world, you're going to need a really good GM to drive that. Yes, and these are extremely pointy. You're going to need a really good GM to really set that tone. There's a Terminator dice, not nearly as cool as our dice. Thank you, Level Up. Links in the description. Okay, let us get on to some news. I think this should do it. There we go. Look at this. Okay, hang on. I need to move this. There we go. Okay. So we have here some news. Launch today is Level Up Dice for the library. You can see let me copy and paste that into the chat again. It should be already in my... Yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking about these dice a bunch for a while. And we've got 2 sets for the library to show off. They're the prototypes, so these will be produced. They were going to do them quarterly, but they're going to do them monthly. So basically at the end of every month, if there's 100 of them, 10 of them, whatever, they'll send them out to be produced. And then they'll do all the shipping and everything. And that comes back to help the library. It was funny because the Alex, the big brains behind Level Up Dice, I was talking to some people at Gamma, or no, it wasn't Gamma. It was it Gen Con? No, I forget where we're at. I do a lot of events now, and I was talking to somebody about possible sponsorship. And he's like, I would love to do something with you. I was like, I can't afford to buy your product. He goes, no. Here's what we're going to do. And he pitched the idea of producing this and putting it up on the website because he likes what we do. And he sees so much excitement. He's come through the library a few times, and he's talked to people about the library at events. And he's like, oh, what are you getting these dice for, kind of thing. And they go, oh, well, we learned about this new game down at the library, and then he'll ask him a little bit about it, and he sees, he likes what we're doing, and he sees the excitement on people's face when they talk about what we do, which always makes me happy to hear. And we're not going to, neither Level Up or us are really going to make much off this, but it is an awesome thing to see. It's a great way to put an awesome piece of product in somebody's hand. These are aluminum, and I can talk about them for a while. I'm going to move on. Otherwise, I'm going to keep talking about them. Oh, you got to see them at PAX. I always show them off at PAX Unplugged because I think that was the first place I had them in hand, or first event I had them in hand. We were hoping to get them launched sooner, but Level Up has been doing all this kind of on the side while they've been producing a bunch of other really awesome stuff, and all totally really on their dime. They paid. We sent them our logo. They paid somebody to take our logo and make it work through all the machining process and everything. They sent everything out to get them machined. So yeah, hats off to them. They're amazing, and they feel great in hand too. All right, we got an order already. Yay! Okay, this is going to be. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. This has been in the news. If you're in the role playing at all, I hope you understand what's been going on. So, the leak came out for the OGL 1.1. That was a big storm. Then the 1.2 came out, and then they did a survey. I actually participate in the survey, and I also like to think that, jokingly, I was telling people because I know tons of people within the industry, and I talk to people that I know at Wizard. Said, "Hey, I'm looking for volunteers so that we can entirely write the SRD 5.1, rewrite it, so take all the mechanics and everything, and make our own version." And I like to think that people reaching out with stuff like that was one of the things that pushed them over the edge. So they said that through the feedback, they got over 15,000 surveys in the matter of a couple days. And most everybody said, "Hey, that OGL 1.2 is horrible. Don't want OGL." And my biggest thing for the OGL 1.0A is there's a ton of companies that are currently using that aren't using anything Wizards of the Coast related. So like Fate and OpenD6 use the OGL 1.0A license. So if that was deauthorized, it would put those companies that have nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast in a bind, and nothing to do with D&D. That's the funny thing. So with I'm happy that they're not deauthorizing the OGL. Doesn't mean they won't in the future. They've pulled back on their VTT and all that. It's awesome that they threw the SRD 5.1 into Creative Commons, and I see your comment that says still doesn't discuss 4E earlier. So 4E was never done under the OGLs. It was done under its own license. I forget what the heck that license was called. Yeah, the GSL, thank you. Is somebody getting static in the audio? I hope not. Oh, man. I changed audio devices, so same mic, different audio device going into... I was afraid I might get a little static. It's kind of close to some power lines. Wizards is attacking the stream. Hang on a sec. I will swap out some audio real quick. It's good to have extra audio devices, right? Can you guys hear me? Do I sound like a Dalek anymore? Yay! I gotta pick up my phone. I was mildly afraid of that. My audio device is a little too close to a power outlet and could cause interference, and well, ended up doing so. Okay, so back to the OGL. Yes, the fourth edition wasn't released under an OGL. It was released under the GSL, which was a very restrictive license. And honestly, part of the reason why fourth edition didn't do well, there was a whole lot of reasons why fourth ed didn't do well. It was made to be digital long before they were ready to. And many of us have been pointing out that WotC's been doing a lot of work to push to go digital. They've been way behind the curve on the virtual tabletop. I mean, Roll20's been around since, I mean, they're 11 years old now. I mean, and it's funny to find out that buying D&D Beyond made all the people that are working on their virtual tabletop very angry, because it wasn't what it has nothing to do. So they're either going to have two different systems, or they're going to try to badly merge them together. The SRD being a Creative Commons, it's out there. They can't do anything to pull it back, which is a good thing. It just means that when it comes to D&D stuff, the third-party market is going to be very stunted, because one, D&D will not be released under an OGL. It will not have anything put out through the Creative Commons or anything like that. The SRD for that is going to be super locked down. They're going to have licenses that are going to be really tight. And I'm okay with that, because the direction that WotC wants to go with D&D is to be a digital product that they only have to print minimal stuff. They'll do collector's edition type things, and that's it. There's going to be a lot of players that are going to love doing that, and there's going to be a lot of players that'll pay monthly fees to play. I hope that they have free options for people to be able to play, but that comes down to the issue that current CEO WotC pointed out. You know, they've got to figure out how to monetize everybody, which is going to be rough. So happy that the SRD is now in Creative Commons. Yes, we do want the D&D 3.3.5 SRD, or so the D20 stuff in Creative Commons. That would be awesome. Because I believe you're still able to access all that under the current OGL, because it was made part of it. It just, I don't know why they didn't throw that out there. And honestly, they could have thrown the 4th edition one out as well. That would have been really, really awesome. But do know that this is them going, hey, what was it? Somebody said, somebody put a quote in the chat from, as Monty Cook said, if someone points a gun to your head and then says, just kidding, am I really going to trust them afterwards? And it's very true. Monty Cook worked with, he was a big part of the D&D 3.0 experience. Let's see, static audio, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and a lot of people in the chat are saying don't trust him, and I 100% agree. The the leadership of Wizards of the Coast have shown that they can't be trusted. There's a lot of the upper management are very focused on trying to figure out how to monetize D&D. They want to make WotC a consistent $1 billion a year brand. Magic took a big hit. Magic is still WotC's and Hasbro's largest IP. They've been trying to figure out how to cross those over, and it's been okay at best. Let's see, it's hard to monetize players of a game where the buy-in is roughly 150 from one person, GM, and 0 for all the players. And that's the thing that we've told, and I talk to people about this in the industry all the time. They were like, "Oh, we've got to figure out." Paizo, I think, has done a decent job because one of the problems is WotC has focused so much in 5e that so many of the additional books are so focused on players because they'll have a new race, they'll have a new class, and it was done a little bit in 3rd ed, but it wasn't quite the same as it is in 5th. The better way to do it is put cool stuff in there for the GM who wants to buy it for the rules, and put good stories and stuff that players want to purchase. It is hard. It is really, really hard. Let's see. The other problem is, will they put out official PDFs for 5e when the... No, as soon as 1 D&D comes out, they're going to cut off 5e. They're not going to do anything more for it, just like they do every time there's a new edition. And it's going to be digital focus. It's going to be, hey, you got to get a D&D Beyond subscription, blah blah blah. It is going to be hardcore buy-in, and I'm telling you that now. See, I learned on D&D 3.5, and that's exactly what my group did. We found a lot of and D&D grew because the people tell me, oh, the industry didn't die in the late 90s. It did. Your 2 largest game companies were TSR and West End Games. TSR was bought out in 97, and WotC was doing everything they could to make the ship even remotely profitable. They were putting out things that they were required to with Alternity and some of the licensings they had there. And then West End Games died in 99. They were the second largest by a large margin. Weren't nearly as big as D&D, but when your 2 largest players go down, nobody wants to carry anything. It was a horrible time. You would walk into a hobby shop where you bought your books. You'd walk into Barnes and Nobles or a local bookstore where you used to buy your books, and they were like, "Oh, hey, where did the role-playing game books go?" "Oh, we sent them back." That happened a lot in 97 and 99. And because of the OGL and D&D 3, and the mass amounts of books that we saw come out of that were other things, because there were a lot of D20 stuff that came out. Pardon me. A lot of talking today. Okay, let's go on to next. This I thought was neat. So this was put out for free, and it's a little guide on role-playing game content rating system. It's not mandatory or anything. It's like, hey, this person put it together and said, believes that self-regulation is the best tool. And I'm always torn on stuff like this. They're just, the ratings are fine. So AG, adult gaming, suitable for players 17 and over. Family friendly. So this role-playing game is suitable for players of all ages, but the content may be more appropriate for older players or adults. The game's impact on players is considered very mild. And then teen. This role-playing game contains content suitable for players 13 and above. So I think this is kind of a cool idea. I don't want it mandated, but it's if people can jump on and do something cool like this. This can be very helpful for, especially as popular as role-playing games have gotten. You do have, back in the 80s, when my family, in 90s, when we had our store, we got questions all the time. Hey, is this good for my teenager? And it was always rough because my parents were like, well, our son here played since he was 4. I was not the normal kid, so you can't can't say, hey, my kid here has played. Because I watched Alien and I watched 2001 Space Odyssey when I was like 6 and said, whoa, that was amazing. And just like my dad stared at me like, well, you're not normal. So I think these are a really neat idea, and I don't want them to be mandated, but I do want to encourage, especially people that are putting things out that are more kid friendly. Try to get a kid friendly, like, hey, besides the kid friendly covers. So, Vasgrim. Oh, we're going to actually cover that in the Kickstarters. So, Broken Weave from Cubicle. I keep saying Crucible. Why do I keep saying Crucible? Cubicle 7. Ugh. So, Broken Weave 5e and announcing C7D20. So, they're doing Broken Weave, which looks... This is like an owlbear nightmare thing. That's a lot of extra eyes and way too many mouths on an owlbear. I actually had fairly normal parents. So somebody said, I didn't have normal parents either. you met my dad. I'm like, yes, I did meet your dad. My parents were honestly kind of normal. I was definitely not the normal one. The more I look at it, the more normal I feel when I look at how weird my family is. So anyways, you heard it here first. C7, well, not here, there. So this is at Cubicle 7. C7 D20. So Cubicle 7 D20. Our brand new system is in development, building on the great D20 games we know and love. Our system will offer all the action-packed action adventures players expect from D20 Fantasy, as well as the broader styles of gaming we've brought to 5e and Doctors and Darlocks. You need to get a copy of that. Adventures in Middle-earth and Uncharted Journeys. C7D20 will be a compatible rule set with a rule set that is compatible with 5e. See, and that's the this goes back to some of the OGL argument. You could take the SRD, you could take all those mechanics, rename everything, and write compatible with 5e. And it's not that it's a lot. It's time consuming, but it was an easy way around. So even if we would have lost, a bunch of us would have gotten together and done something new. Oh, is Broken Weave already on Kickstarter? Oh, no. I was like, I didn't see it. So Cubicle 7 is doing their own 5e compatible D20 system. So basically 5e with new words. And the N-World folk are putting out their level up system document. So we at N-World, or N Publishing, have just launched our new system reference document, taking the rules of our popular Level Up Advanced 5th Edition tabletop RPG. We are creating a fully featured complete 5e SRD, which will be available under a variety of open and permissive licenses, including licenses which are non-revocable. So if you've played around with N's Level Up system, they have an SRD for it. I didn't mean to click on it, but let's see. And 5th season. So this is coming out from Green Ronin. I believe it is up on Kickstarter right now. I will need to actually, I'm going to look here in a second. I forgot to look this one up. But this one, I believe, is up on Kickstarter right now, and they have their quick start guide up on DriveThruRPG. Okay, for all those that are always worried about when we get into the crowdfunding stuff, we are getting into the crowdfunding stuff, so this is where the people with no self-control and wallets that'll be hurt need to move on. Okay, Vastgrim. We were given a copy of this game at PAX Unplugged, the core game, and here are three new books for it. The looks and the aesthetics of this game are gorgeous. So, $19 gets you the digital assets, the guest PDF adventures, roll rooms, Raider. Let me go through, because this is a weird thing to read. Okay. Get you the PDFs and digital stretch goals. $22 gets you the 48-page hardcover expansion book, and a PDF of the book you select and all stretch goals. $29 gets you the Vastgrim core book, 2 expansion books for $44. $65 gets you all 3 expansion books in PDF. $99, you become a Legionnaire. Then you get your own disease. You get all 3 of the books, the Worm header patch, the Legionnaire header patch, and 6 hexagonal mission patch. Let's see. You can see some of the art. The art in this is awesome. Let's see what. There we go. There's the mission patches. Oh, there's the. Okay. Ha ha ha. So this is your Worm patch up top. This is your Legionnaire header patch, and then this is your 6. You get 6 hexagonal mission patches. I like that. That's hilarious. 144 all in. You get Vastgrim core rulebook, GM screen, all 3 of the expansion books, the Worm patch, the Legionnaire patch, and 6 hexagonal mission patch. And then a retailer. And then all pledges get a Kickstarter exclusive double hex mission patch. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can see the different and it's if you like sci-fi and you like what is it? Yes, and so yes, the Mort Borg system is blowing up, and it says the creator of Vastgrim actually makes all the art with clay models, then photographs them and edits it. He played Mort Borg with a friend, went home that night, and actually the creature here that's on this cover, he made a clay model, and it was in his booth, and it's awesome. And then he was like, oh my god, I need to make this into a game. So it's not 40K because it's not that far into the future. So I think dabble in some space pirates and what's that movie, Event Horizon. That's where we all need to go. Event Horizon. That's a great movie. It's like Dead Space, Mort Borg. Let's see. Okay, 5th season hasn't launched yet. It's launching soon. Okay, Till Death Do Us Part. So, Gary Gygax's daughter is getting married, and her husband, as their part of their wedding, Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland are putting out their Gygax and Garland 1 Till Death Do Us Part module. I find it super amusing. Love this. I think it's a great way. a role-playing adventure for first level for 1E and 5E Dungeons & Dragons and Castles and Crusade by Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland. I think it is, it's adorable. This is their first created. They've worked on a bunch of other stuff. So this is, I think, great. This is super fun. Gaxland. All Baxters who qualify for physical stretch goal will receive custom D6 with our Gaxland logo engraved upon it. It's super rare and sure to blow your minds. I adore this so much. They've backed a ton of stuff, and they've both actually done a bunch of work through the industry. And I don't foresee them not finishing this. And I love that his name's Garland and her name's Gygax, and they've made Gaxland. So that is adorable. I think Heidi is younger than Luke. Because Ernie Gygax Jr. is the oldest. I think Luke and Heidi were from his second wife. Yes. 1E has been directly hasn't been directly touched by OSR, but it's just been copied around. Exactly. So yeah, this you should be able to play this in a lot of OSR stuff. Oop, didn't close this window. Realms of Pugmire. So huge fan of Pugmire. Love this game so much. They're doing a second edition of it. It was a mostly 5e compatible game. So it was 5e with some changes, and they're making it more of its own system now. And the fun thing is, it's a fantasy-based game. Kind of. It's in the far-flung future when dogs and cats and mice and stuff are humanoids, and they've evolved and are running the earth. And you don't know if the humans are still around. This is by Onyx Path. Onyx Path has done a lot of great stuff. The original Pugmire is amazing and absolutely supporting this. So $25 gets you the PDF discounted print on demand option. $55 gets you the Realms of Pugmire hardcover, the PDF, and a discounted print on demand option, so you end up with 2 copies. And then for $100, that collector's cover looks really cool. You get the deluxe Realms of Pugmire limited edition hardcover, Realms of Pugmire PDF, discounted PDF print on demand option, and then everything else. Look at that. That is nice. I love Pugmire. It is so much fun. It is absolutely worth backing. And then through this, you can get the Pugmire First Edition. So they had Pugmire and 5 books. Then they had Monarch of Zamal, which added the cats, and that had 3 books. Then they had the Pirates of Pugmire, which had 2 books, and that added birds and reptiles. And then Squeaks in the Deep was 2 books, and that added rats and the like. Dog Ranger is the goodest boy. I love Pugmire so much. I have not seen anybody play Pugmire and not have a big old smile on their face. It is next to impossible not to play Pugmire without just a big grin on your face, because you're playing as a Cornish Rex or as a Rottweiler or whatever. The Red Lantern, a Cthulhu Mythos RPG adventure. They weren't looking for much, so this is a digital only, but it's it's not often you get third parties doing much for stuff like Cthulhu. Cthulhu does have a decent amount. Chaosium, I think, is the second largest RPG company out right now, and Cthulhu has been doing well for the last few years. There's been a big trend towards doing Cthulhu-based stuff, partly because a lot of Lovecraft's works became public domain, so that's why you've seen so much Lovecraftian stuff, because it's public domain now. Let's see. So for Mothership, this is an interesting add-on for Mothership. It's so Mothership is a sci-fi horror game, and it's really streamlined. But this, see if they show. So you've got interesting dice that have a weird stacking mechanic as you're playing. So it's an interesting add-on to playing Mothership. I thought it was a really neat idea because people don't necessarily do physical add-ons like this to games. So they're taking one of the most stripped-down games there is, without being a one-page RPG, which a lot of Mothership stuff is almost one page. Yes, I hate somebody in the Topulsar said biggest expansion for Call of Cthulhu has been Delta Green, which has now become its own system. Yeah, so back to this. I find this really nifty. It's got its own rules of how it interacts in the game. I just find it super intriguing that somebody has taken the time to make physical things to add on how the game is played. Let's see, $10 for print and play, $25 for a rare geometry hardcover and the print and play. Then $26 gets you the actual dice. Then $39 gets you the dice, a bonus turret, the hardcover, and then there's limited edition stuff. Yeah, I don't know exactly. This is something I would need to get my hands on. They explain it fairly well, so if you... I don't know if it's... Yeah. I think this might be for hacking in the game. So, yeah, it's it is nifty. I'll pop it into the chat so you can go look at it. Oracle. This is an interesting character generator. It's got 161,000. So they've got 23 days to go. It's a neat idea. So it's $50 for the box. It's 300 tarot-sized cards. 5 different decks. The PDF is $25. It is, yeah, $50 for that many cards is not really bad, to be honest. And you can click on the PDF and try it out for yourself. But it's a neat idea for how to quickly put together characters. And then they've got a story generator as well. So if you do 120, you get both. Very interesting. I like having things like this available for people. The Harmonious Box, a mid-century liminal survival horror RPG adventure. People have been excited about liminal spaces lately, so I thought I would include this one. A system-neutral RP adventure set in a television gone haywire. Or has it? So, once you power on this TV, you're teleported inside, and you must survive twisted versions of shows in which you are now starring in as a character. What happens when your reality changes to a Western or you reappear as a cartoon character? Shows may include Western, sci-fi, cartoons, soap operas, crime drama, sitcoms, action, adventure, horror, the classics, and music television. Money for nothing. $15 gets you the PDF. $20 gets you the PDF and the zine. I think it's a neat idea. Hope they do well. They got 30 days to go. They're over halfway there. They're 3/5. Analog horror is super popular. Horror games actually are really popular right now. Nirvana on Fire Expanded Edition. So this is for Mothership. Again, we're going back to sci-fi and horror. Horror stuff is fairly popular right now. $20, 15 American, 20 Canadian gets you the PDF. $48 American gets you the deluxe edition, the everything above plus physical extras, and then the $70 US gets everything above plus MGG back catalog. So their back catalog of games. And they've put out a couple other things. The Terraforming Tower. We talked about these for a little bit. I'm actually super excited to see these. They're two sides. They're the same thing on both sides, so it's not like the underside of a creature, but they're their art on clear acrylic, and find it kind of cool. And through the different tiers, you can end up getting several different sets. There's a lot of different sets, so if you're interested in them, I think to get all of them, $440 gets you 3 of each token, but there is there's a lot of tokens. And that's the top tier. It gets you 6 binders and a set of 7 acrylic sharp edge dice and 3 of each token. And then this is all the tokens. There's a lot of them. And these are nice because they're easier. I like the lay flat stuff, especially when you're taking your stuff to other people's places, or like we do, we take stuff to other people's places, and they're really nice looking, and there's a lot of them. So depending on what tier you get, you can get like a couple different sets, or you can go all out and get everything. I'm going to contact them, see if we can get our hands on some of these, because they're really nice. In fact, we actually have some terrain people that are sending us some stuff. We have some map people that are sending us stuff. We had some companies out of the UK reach out to us recently. We got more and more people that are reaching out to us. Let's see. One of the friends of the library on BackerKit. So 23 days to go. Kobolds Ate My Baby, the Orange Box. This is their second, I want to say second edition, because this is Kobolds Ate My Baby. It's a completely new edition because the Orange book is based on their Polymorph system. Polymorph is a great, fun little game. I know I have a Polymorph book around here somewhere. There you go. This is all the bigger a Polymorph book is. They're really tiny. The system. So Chris and Heather over at Kobolds Ate My, or over at Ninth Level Games, like small games. Their first game was Kobolds Ate My Baby. The original version is a beer and pretzels game. Your stats in the original one are they spell beer. It's I forget what they are, but this new edition of Kobolds Ate My Baby will be using the Polymorph system. It's a great little system. I think it uses just 4 dice, if I remember correctly. Campaign. This campaign features all the rad things. Kobolds Ate My Babies, the Orange Book, a completely new edition of the game, powered by Polymorph. A plush kobold. The Smorgasbord, Kobolds Ate My Baby meets Morkborg Zine. Kobolds Ate My Baby, the coloring book, and an orange crayon. Kobolds Ate My Baby, the dice set. Kobolds Ate My Baby, the digital adventure park. I feel a little Spaceballsies here. Love the Kobolds Ate My Baby stuff. Need to sit down with Chris and Heather and play this with them. There's the concept. There's the prototype for the plushie. I love this thing so much. All right, GM and Librarian Survey is live on our Discord. Sweet. So if you are in our Discord and you want to help out with any upcoming events, you can jump on our Discord and fill out the survey to see what you're available for in the coming events. Kobolds Ate My Baby, the Flameflower. Oh, the kids love it. $15 gets you the PDF. 20 gets you the book. 25 gets you just the plushie. 49 gets you all the PDFs. 89 gets you all the new stuff. And 149 gets you all of the stuff plus a kobold dice. I'm so excited. I love the kobold die. I love that they have kept doing the Kobolds Ate My Baby stuff. I'm glad that they're updating it, because as much as I enjoy the original one, it was definitely directed at drunken gamers playing a game between other games. Whereas this is going to be something, well, this is the excellence, but it's going to bring Kobolds Ate My Baby to a larger category of players. So, got to give their team a big hug. Our dice again. Don't I look awkward? They're nice and cool. No, we will not be at TotalCon. I do want to work with some people on the East Coast to get to some more East Coast events until I can retire and just travel the country and hit events. Let's see. Over on itch.io, they have a OGL 1.0 celebration bundle. So this is a bundle of each item is 100% off. Ends February 10th. It is a ton of there's a ton of 5e stuff here. So Heroic Fates complete 5e. So there's a bunch of stuff here that's totally free. So Monarch Arts put all their stuff, and then itch.io is a great place to go look for just a lot of fun games. There's a ton of great stuff on there, and they always have little sales. People doing raising goals, trying to raise money to help something out. So even if it's a game you don't like, but it's a cause that you want to support, that sometimes it's a great way. And sometimes people just, hey, here's my game for free, try it out. I love stuff like that. Let's see. Humble Bundle still has their RPG Worlds. Oh, Kobold Press is getting ready to start their beta for their Black Flag game. So this is 52 items, a bunch of 5e stuff, a bunch of Castle and Crusade stuff, tons of old school adventures, or old school essentials. There is so much stuff in this. So go to Humble Bundle under books and you'll find this. And for $30 you can get boatloads of OSE, Castle and Crusades, 5e stuff. There's just tons of it. Love it. And now let's look at, okay, non-OGL Fantasy ends in 7 minutes. So, $10 gets you Mithra, the Dark Eye, Advanced Fighting Fantasy 2nd Edition, Heroes Against Darkness, the Old School Manifesto. And then if you go up to $30, you get all of that, plus Worlds Without Number Deluxe Edition, Sword Chronicle, Warlock Traders Edition. Really want to get that. Fantasy Age. They just Green Ronin, I think, just announced something for Fantasy Age, and I forget what it is, and I didn't put it in the news. And then Against the Dark Master. So for $30, you can get a ton of non-OGL games, which is awesome. Let's see, Hero. So we looked at some Hero System 5th edition stuff. Here's Hero 6th edition. $10 gets you the basic core rulebook, the V2 character creation, V2 combat, and adventuring. So those $3 are $10. Then if you go up to $40, you get your 3 core, your 2 Hero Adventure Player's Guides, the new optional variant and expanded rules, Hero Equipment Guide, weapons, defenses, and gadgets for heroes and superheroes, Hero 6e Skills, the Hero 6e Grimoire if you want to do magic, martial arts, the Bestiary, Star Hero 6th edition, Fantasy Hero 6th edition, and the Ultimate Base. It's all about the base. This ends in 21 days. Let's see. We looked at the non-OGL Fantasy. I clicked on it again. So Champions 6e, so $13 gets you the 6e Champions Core Book, Champions Powers, Universe, and Hero Book of Templates, making it easy for you. Then if you go up to $40, you get all of those core books, plus Campaign Book, Champions Beyond, Villains 1, 2, 3, so Master Villains, Villains Teams, and Solo Villains, and the Book of the Empress, the Ruler of a Billion Dimensions. Well, that sounds cool. Champions 1st edition was my second role-playing game ever. Alternatives to D&D. This ends in 9 days. So for $10, you get 5 torches deep, which is 5e D&D, like slimmed down, tiny dungeon. As it sounds, it's a really straightforward game to learn to play. Chivalry and Sorcery, Basic Fantasy, and RPG and Field Guide. So it's old school, but based on D&D or D20, so 3.5, and then Light Master. Then if you go up to 28 and a quarter, you get all those books plus Dungeon Crawl Classics. Great book. Shadow the Demon Lord, great game. Hackmaster Player's Game. This is a different Hackmaster than the crazy stuff I was showing you earlier. This is their 5th edition, which is their 2nd edition. Fragged Empire 1st edition and Fragged Kingdom. So that's a lot of books for really cheap. Let's see, Advanced Adventures Mega. 14 days left. So $10 gets you Adventures 1 through 10, Malevolent and Benign 1, 150 old school monsters, and Osric Old School Reference and Index compilation. Nice. Love the Osric stuff. And then if you go up to $36, you get all of that, plus Adventures 11 through 43, 33 modules for comprehensive fantasy excitement. It's 500 pages of modules. And the Malevolent and Benign 2, more old school monsters. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Osric's pretty cool. Let's see. Zero 1 dungeons. $10 gets you Dungeons Under the Mountain, level 1 through 9. Dungeon of Terror, one of the largest dungeons ever mapped. 445 pages. Whoa. 3 mega dungeon blueprints. The Undercity, Archlich Lair, and the Palace of the Vampire Queen. And if we go up to 2150, you get the Dumped level 10 virtual box set. Descend to a new level. 13 rooms under the mountain. The Forgotten Dungeon level. Well, it wasn't forgotten. Somebody wrote it down. and the customizable dungeon battle maps. Then we've got Beowulf 5e. So for $10, you get Beowulf Age of Heroes, 4 Beowulf Adventures, The Elf Shot Horror of Harrogate, 7 Stones, and The Witches of the Worm. The Witches and the Worm, and the Beowulf art book. So not a bad deal for $10. Oh, also forgot we got Foundry hooked us up. So we've been using Roll20. We're going to continue to use Roll20, but we also got. Okay, if it wants to launch. You'll probably only see a portion of the everything, but they gave us some. The Foundry folks gave us some codes to use their Foundry software, and I have started play testing it, trying to learn everything. So learning curve on all this stuff is pretty high, but we now have. Foundry and Roll20 have given us all kinds of awesome stuff that we can use, and we can let GMs use that are working with the library. So he said they keep getting cologne ads on the Twitch ads during the library stream. Truly, tabletops are the most romantic connection. Oh yes. So, thank you all for tuning in. We will be closing the library here shortly. Do remember, we have dice available at the Level Up Dice store now, and it is our first awesome thing that somebody has reached out to do for us like this. It is, I'm speechless. The product is freaking amazing. It's milled aluminum. They've been amazing with us, and so many new books. I have so many books here. Been moving my office, trying to get stuff to go. I had to go get a new hard drive because I ran out of storage space for the videos I was doing. I need to get back into doing all my RPG of the days. So tomorrow, after I get off work, I'm going to be jumping into that. We're trying to get, now that the OGL stuff has calmed down, we're trying to get some guests lined up so we can start doing our interviews again. There's a lot of people that were really leery about, because they were like, everybody's going to ask me about OGL stuff, and nobody really wanted to answer those questions, and I don't blame them. So until Wednesday, I hope, we are going to say the library is now closed. And thank you all for tuning in and being part of this continuing project. And we don't need a bigger storage unit yet. We will. We actually just expanded the last few months, so we're now in 2 10x10s. And if some of the donations come in that may be coming in, we may need 2 more 10x10s. It's going to be bonkers and a lot of work. Okay, thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, the library is now closed.